Hi, we are. Good evening, everybody. We're coming live with Salt-Free Gaming versus Pogjuice Aficionados for Intermediate Week 2 here. I'm Luggnuts, and casting with me is Harvey. Say hi, Harvey.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Hopefully gonna be a fun game here, looking close. And yeah, just good old Intermediate TF2. Trying to get up some player lists here, give us a second. Alright, so Harvey, I understand you've got a bit of experience with Salt-Free Gaming, you know the team, know the players, pretty intimate with them.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with them. I'm registered on their roster this season, but I'm just subbing for them. But
There you go.
yeah.
We've got the inside scoop on them, so how about you run us through their team, run us through their players, tell us a bit about what their specialties are.
Yeah, sure, that would be I can do that. So on Salt-Free, I believe we have Skaz and Catfish on Scouts, Wigan and Zildjian on Soldier, Kenji, whom I've not played with before, on Demo Man, and Snazzy on Medic. And I believe Skaz is playing Pocket Scout, Catfish is on Flank Scout, while Wigan's on Roamer and Zildjian's on Pocket.
Alright, nice. A bit of a mix-up of players from last time I played them. Of course, last time I played them was a scrim where they were playing a heavy, so, but I can't complain given what my team runs, so, yeah. Meanwhile, on Pogjuice Aficionados, I'm not too sure who's playing tonight. Let me just hop in the server. Alright, well, there we go. We got, right, we're going in with TG, Montgomery, Wigglesworth, Cake, Lizard Wizard, Frydog, and Ravu4. Now, we've got Ravu4 playing Medic. It's a class he's been playing pretty recently. Well, actually, yeah, for a while now in sixes. Although I do remember him from days playing more Highlander, He was a good Highlander player, good Highlander engineer, I'm pretty sure, at one stage. Frydog on demo, pretty good demo. Hate playing against him, but that's how it is. Lizard Wizard on Soldier, man with the nutty directs, and likes tilting me about my 2 AM sleep schedules. Haven't played too much against some of the other guys, but in standard scrims and stuff, it's looking to shape up that it might be a pretty interesting game.
I'm not too familiar with the roster. I've only played against them once last season, but I do know that they have probably one of the best and yet worst team names I've ever seen in ozfortress history.
It's gonna be a hell to say during the cast. We might just call them PA or something, or Pogjuice. Like, I don't know. Can't pronounce Aficionados at all. I swear to God. Anyway, hopefully they get over it. We're not gonna have to cast that name next season, so hopefully we can only pray. So the maps for this week will be Sunshine and Snakewater. What team do you think has the advantage on which map here? I mean, you of course know a lot about Salt-Free and how they might do on some of these maps. So yeah, which one do you think they'll have the stronger showing on?
I believe Salt-Free beat some iteration of Pogjuice last season, but they were on completely different maps. It was pretty convincing from what I recall, though the roster was slightly different, so I'm not too sure if I, can just say that Salt-Free will pound, even though Salt-Free will pound, but...
Yeah, of course, you gotta rip your home team.
I think I would say Salt-Free is pretty comfortable on Sunshine, like calling-wise, making macro decisions, and deciding what kind of fights to take. The only problem is, when I played on Salt-Free, we kind of had problems pushing last, even with Uber Ad on certain maps, with big last points like Sunshine and Snakewater, actually. So...
Right.
So I do think that Salt-Free does have the edge just on paper, but it'll be interesting to see if Salt-Free can actually convert their last pushes compared to last season.
So that's something we can look out for, We'll hopefully see some of Pogjuice's players taking advantage of that if they do fail those last pushes, get some good push-outs, hopefully. Could have some long games here, 30 minutes. It's going to be interesting seeing the combat around second then, see if Salt-Free decides to slow it down, tire them out, or if they just want to go for it and we get to see lots of last pushes out of it. Now, how are their off classes looking? How does Salt-Free like to off class? What do they like to run?
Oh, I know Catfish and Wigan are huge fans of going on sniper, and Zildjian plays heavy and NG whenever he feels like it on last. Usually I haven't seen Scares off class. I think it's maybe because he has a very important role of pocket scout, so he kind of needs Snazzy kind of needs someone to run him around, you know, with the scout speed.
Yeah, definitely.
I've not seen much spy though. I know Zildjian always asks, he always begs to play spy pushing last, stuff like that. In scrims, you know, usually we don't do it in scrims, but we might do it in official since teams don't really expect it in the lower divisions at least. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure about Pogjuice, but yeah, are you familiar with any of their off-classing tendencies?
I'm pretty sure last time we were fighting them, they like to run a sniper occasionally, although I'm not too sure how they might shape up to, salt freeze snipers, if you will. I think I can't be too sure on this. Like, I might have some vague memory of Lizard pulling a spy play that was pretty effective once or twice. So it'll be interesting to see what it comes down to, and see if we're really seeing salt-free off classes onto last. Maybe the Zildjian spy to get around that slight difficulty pushing last that you mentioned, or if we're going to see, Pogjuice whipping out the off classes to throw a wrench in their plans and change things up a little bit. I always like to see off classes. My entire team runs nothing but off classes, so I like to see people hopping on other things, get the snipers out, get the spies out, get the engineers out, run a pirate mid, just do something like that, and you can do that and then no one really minds. Oh well, everyone gets mad, but it's not like too much is on the line, so you can get away with it.
I think it's interesting how Catfish is actually on a flank class, even though, most teams choose to give the beam to both scouts, but Skaz normally takes, like 25% of the beam, usually as combo scout. When, Skaz actually first rose to prominence, I want to say like season 15 or 16 in Prem with Intoxicated as roamer. And then now he's playing Pocket Scout, whereas Catfish is usually the main caller for Salt Free, but he's playing a flank scout role, which I think comes as a surprise to most people, or at least it came as a surprise to me because just given the difference in playstyles, I would have expected Catfish to play Pocket Scout instead of and Skaz on flank scout, but this is what they chose to go with, and I think it's been working pretty well so far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, of course, I'm used to seeing Skaz playing that roamer, like you mentioned, back in season 16, Intoxicated, one intermediate, with him on that soldier, and then went on to Prem. And he played lots of pugs. He was playing a lot on that roamer. Became quite good at it. So, but yeah, so like you said, you'd expect to see him on flanks. But he's got that good DM on scout. I think he can push pretty decently. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see Catfish also playing more flank because I'm used to him. I always think of Catfish as a combo player playing that pocket soldier or something. But people change the classes as usual. And yeah. So, firstly, it looks like we might be going to Sunshine, hopefully here. Sunshine is one of those maps that has really good sniper sight lines, really good for those occasional pick heavy off classes. Seeing Zildjian spy into last is a pretty big possibility, I'd think. That's one of the interesting things we could see about the mids there. How do you think some of the players might handle that? How do you think they might try to get around the heavy presence of sniper you can get on this map?
I'm not sure about the soldiers on Pogjuice, but I do know that salt-free soldiers are not afraid to abuse the map and do some jumps around, like try to maneuver their way quickly from one point to another. I think that will definitely be an advantage for them, considering how much trouble a good sniper can actually cause for your team if you don't handle him properly. I'm not sure if salt-free will bring out the sniper themselves, considering I think Catfish has really gotten comfortable with Scout after not playing it for a few seasons. And I think Scout is just generally the better class, to have on a Sixers team, unless you're like Sheep or something. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't expect Salt Free to run a lot of sniper themselves unless it's, a stalemate. And I think Catfish or whoever is calling on Salt Free also likes to run a lot of soldier sacks, double bomb, stuff like that. So I don't think they'll really go for sniper unless they've tried everything, but I'm not too sure about Pogjuice. Maybe there are some really competent snipers that I'm just not aware of.
Yeah, I know Lizard's not afraid to sort of get in, get some good plays around the flanks, definitely, when he's in it. So we can expect to see maybe some pretty decent shutdown of sniper play. It's good to see things like the two-player sacks and stuff instead of just watching sniper stalemates, even if we are going to Sunshine. But things like the spy is definitely something that I think could shake things up. Could fit the same aggressive play styles these teams might prefer to lean into, while still speeding things up. I definitely know that it'd be a case in Snakewater. Snakewater is a legendary last point for spy, so yeah, hopefully Zildjian gets to pull that out, and we get to see some of that, creative last push energy with the double soldier sacks, the spies, the 5-man sacks, if you will, as well. Interesting stuff like that to keep the game moving. All right, so it looks like they're changing the map to Snakewater first. So we've just covered Sunshine, but how do you think they're going to be handling Snakewater? Any specific strategies we should be looking out for? Anything that they might want to run here?
Oh, from memory, Salt Free does not. At least when I played with them last season, they don't typically do that well on Snakewater. Like starting with the mids, I think they might have some problem breaking it down on the mids, which translates into a second hold or a last hold. So I'm not sure if Saltfree has done anything differently this off season to try and improve on Snakewater, but um, and Snakewater I think is one of those last points which is just so big and really hard to break down if you want to systematically push it. So I do foresee Saltfree having some problems with it, simply because of it doesn't really fit their playstyle, I feel. So we might see a pretty close game on Snakewater. At least I'm hoping for a close game on Snakewater.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to see some good stuff out of it. Especially since Snakewater's coming up first, these players have probably scrimmed before this, but maybe they might not be too warmed up against each other, not really expecting how each other plays. So if there's any time at all for Pogjuice to really hammer in an early lead against Salt Free, it'll be these early rounds on Snakewater, which will be pretty good to see. Might make things a lot more even. And I guess it'll come down to a lot of things with the last. It'll just come down to who's got the smarter plays with it, who's going to have the better pushes, the more creative pushes as well. If the other teams try to slow it down once they get a lead, it'll be good to see any of those strats you mentioned from Sunshine coming out on Snakewater, and just really seeing these guys utilize their scouts, utilize their strong players, just to really try to push that advantage when maybe they wouldn't usually.
I did say that Snakewater is pretty hard to push for Salt Free, but I do think that over the course of the seasons, I think Salt Free has improved in the way they hold last points and their discipline, not letting things like walk in for free, making sure every door is checked, not getting back capped and stuff like that, and checking for spy. So, while Salt Free might have trouble pushing into last, I think that if they were put in a position where they would have to hold last against Pogjuice, I do expect them to do pretty well.
All right. It'll be good. Hopefully, we won't see, some last hold stalemates. Hopefully, these players can get a bit of aggression in there. I reckon that's what we'll see out of these guys. I mean, we've got a lot of playmakers on these teams, We've got a lot of players who can really sort of keep the game moving, so to speak. So hopefully, we'll get some more interesting stuff than just standard holds, just slowing things down.
Yeah, and I think Salt Free probably, if a team is struggling on mid, I would recommend them to do some kind of set play on mid, like give a timing to go forward together and try something. Even if you lose the mid in the end, at least try and get enemy medic or enemy demo to at least try and equalize the Ubers instead of just sitting on your side and getting steamrolled every mid. So if Salt Free can recognize that maybe they're the weaker team, we might actually try and see some aggression on mid to hopefully try and create something before they just. Otherwise, they'll just naturally just lose the DM deathmatch fights.
Oh yeah, so it'll be good to see. Adaption's always good to see from teams. If some teams going into the mid and they're not really having a good time, that level of adaption really keeps things going. Really changes things around, makes sure, like you said, that they don't just get bogged down and just end up losing all the mids. So I mean, if you're recognizing it, Salt Free will probably recognize it. I reckon we won't see too much passive mids from them if they're not really getting them through early on. And I definitely know that on Pogjuice's side, they've got some playmakers. I know Lizard can get in there if he's on the whatever he's playing on the soldier, and he can make opportunities for them pretty well, I reckon.
Yeah, I think on mids, typically, you know, like a very common strategy is for people to send soldiers behind, which is something that lower level teams might struggle with, just because you don't know how many people you want to commit to killing that guy behind. But I think with Catfish, who likes to main call in a very decisive manner, we might. It'll be interesting to see if, you know, Salt Free can actually deal with that threat effectively every middle, because I expect any decent team to at least consider that strategy and hopefully, you know, try and confuse the enemy team or try and create a lot of chaos from behind. But I do have confidence that at least Salt Free will be prepared for that.
Right. So you mentioned Catfish is the one main calling, but he's playing flank scout, right? So how's that going to be working out, main calling from the flank?
Yeah,
you know?
actually, I sat in their scrim yesterday and I managed to listen to some of their comms. Like, Skaz does main call, but I think as for the big macro decisions, Catfish is the one to make it, from what I've heard yesterday.
Right.
So typically things such as whether they are gonna fight it as a team together or not, I think Catfish will make the executive call. Whereas maybe if Snazzy needs to be micromanaged somewhere, or Skaz wants something done specifically from their soldiers, then I think he'll call for it. But Skaz is not really a very comm heavy player. I think Catfish kind of needs to talk about the game to, you know, get the momentum and play better. So I think it kind of fits that way for them.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, you know, especially like you said, when they push players behind, because this is also a map where backcaps are pretty useful. So if they're pushing players behind on mid, if they're pushing, you know, players through flanks on second holds and mid holds and stuff, then seeing Catfish's decision making from that flank, you know, what he might be able to see, what kind of calls he might be making, you know, that could cause some pretty interesting plays as well. Of course, we'd still expect, you know, Skaz to keep the main driving force going on mids and stuff. But yeah, I think that we might see some pretty cool plays. Flank scouts like to get pretty aggressive here, so unless they're sort of charioting the scouts, keeping both of them pretty close to beam and playing, you know, their soldiers pretty away from the combo, then, you know, that could be difficult for them to keep holding on to that, I don't know, central organization, I guess.
We actually see Red Soup in the server. I don't believe he's a core player for Pogjuice, right? He's probably a sub, but oh, he's a merc. Okay.
So he's merking for them. Merking on scout, it looks like. Right. So that's pretty interesting. So they're playing with a merc as well. Might not be as practiced. But looks like we're getting into the game now. Going to keep an eye on him anyway, and we're going to the first mid.
Yeah, do you want to take this mid away?
Yeah, so we got Frydog coming in pretty early ahead of Kenji here and getting some pretty good damage early on. Seeing the fight to the top. Oh, and that's an early bomb in for Lizard Wizard. Pushing a lot of pressure on as the blue team's pushing across the point here. Pogjuice taking early thing, but Frydog gets popped up, actually. Very low HP and taken down by Wigan. This mid could go either way. Low health on both teams, but player advantage on the red side. That's Snazzy surviving through that. That's going to be really good for them, as they're going to have big Uber ad going into this last push. If they can clean up this mid properly, not let their medic get picked and go in second with full players.
Yeah, that was kind of a pseudo wipe, I guess. They managed to kill everyone on Pogjuice. I really like what Catfish did, because Skaz was really early to die on mid, which meant that Catfish had to, you know, kind of change his playstyle and stay with Snazzy a bit more. He managed to clean up, I believe, 1 or 2 kills.
Good bomb from Lizard Wizard, gets shut down by the scouts, but does get the rocket on the medic. You know, they are looking to not give this up completely for free, but looks like Salt Free will be taking the second, and we'll see probably a pretty early Uber here into last, which will probably clean up this round if they can keep it together. They're pushing an under. The sentry gun is up behind the blue crates. We'll see if they deal with that, or if they're going to push right side here. Yeah, a lot of the Uber goes right, and they get the sentry gun pretty late there, not getting too much time on the point. And yeah, it's a really good defense from Pogjuice. I guess this is some of what you mentioned with, you know, Salt Free not really able to get those last pushes, even with that Uber ad on those larger points.
Yeah, Catfish just got, I think he just died to a sticky trap, and they chose to go lower anyway, which I felt wasn't the best choice because you don't really see anything from lower, but Pogjuice do have full Uber at pushing out of last, and I don't think Salt Free is gonna... Oh, Zildjian's on Spy actually.
Ooh, there's the spy play that you're talking about. That's a really good block coming in. It manages to get the Uber force as well, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop this point being captured, no.
Yeah, Catfish is delaying a lot of time from the blue combo actually, and Zildjian might go for the medic here, we'll see if he gets it.
This could cause a big upset. Oh, misses the stab, goes for the gun, and yeah, doesn't get it.
Alright, I mean, they did have Uber ad to begin with anyway on Salt Free, so I think Zildjian just wanted to die and spawn back as Soldier, or either that or, you know, he just beefed his stab. I think the latter is probably more likely. Snazzy does get bombed, but doesn't really get too low. And Salt Free has full ad here, yeah.
Yeah, no big surfs from Snazzy, but the other players are doing pretty well in shutting down the Soldier, despite him getting pretty much consistently on top of Snazzy's head, you know? So yeah, pretty good attention from the other players. And now they've got full Uber, and probably looking to leapfrog this.
Salt Free is not pushing this as quickly as I would like them to, but I think they're still gonna get second for free. I'm not sure if Blue will contest. They actually do want to contest, so we might actually see an Uber trade on second here with Red Soup in front.
Yeah, they're just about to get Uber, but they dropped 2 players before the Uber. This could be really good for Salt Free. They managed to force out the Uber without using their own as well. Oh, this is really good for Salt Free. They can probably clean up this point mostly for free and then push into last with another full Uber. Take another crack at that failed last push.
Yeah, I think they're gonna wait for Wigan to spawn just because the ad is so big, but I really didn't like the Uber from Blue. Oh, Skaz dies to a trap. They might wait for Skaz, I think they will.
Taking more time, but they've got the Uber advantage for it. I mean, 100% is nothing to scoff at. You know, it gives them plenty of time to get their players back up, think of what kind of push they want to do here.
Yeah, and they do need to watch for off classes before pushing to last. You don't want to get caught out by a surprise sentry or sniper again, as Red Soup is on sniper. And having played against him, I think we all know that Red Soup's a very competent sniper, so Salt Free will have to be very careful as they push into lower here.
They've used it now lower, away from the sniper sight line. Red Soup's swapping off, focusing down the heavy, although he's still up for quite a while there. Oh, and they hit Kenji and Wigan both dying there. Oh no. Yeah, it's another disastrous last push, you know, just gets caught out in front of that point there, losing crucial players just before the cap.
I think Kenji and Skaz shot different things. Kenji was shooting the heavy and I think Skaz was shooting a soldier, which I think, you know, could have been a bit better and might have actually made a difference in that last push.
Yeah, not the tightest last pushes, you know. Like you were mentioning, they're kind of having a bit of a problem with the focuses. Getting down crucial targets, maybe a little bit slow, but yeah. Looks like they're doing pretty well in the transitions though. It looks like they'll probably get another chance to get it as long as they defend well against the Super. Kenji picking up a scout, although they go for a 2-man sack for that and don't get the force. So that's pretty disastrous because now they're holding back second. They might lose this unless they quickly get the Super. Even then they still have 2 players down, so if Pogjuice moves really quickly here, they might be able to pick up the second point.
Skaz actually looks like he wants to meet them, considering his positioning, and oh, Snazzy actually
drop!
Unfortunate.
Oh my goodness. That's absolutely disastrous for them, although they do manage to get Pogjuice to pop, so they're not going to be pushing into last with full Uber at least. They do have a chance to defend this.
Somehow it worked out in the end, and I don't think Pogjuice will roll this to last because Snazzy is going to spawn, but you could really see that Salt Free wanted to take the trade there. Skaz was moving forward, trying to meet the Pogjuice combo, but it's just unfortunate that Snazzy was caught off guard from behind.
Definitely. You know, I mean, we've seen Snazzy mostly really good. You know, his team's been really good on those soldier bombs, but just bad luck that time has put them in a pretty bad situation. But like you mentioned, you said they're pretty good at holding last, so we'll have to see if they manage to put that defense to good use and ward off this Uber ad. You know, see if they can get past the off classes, the heavy, the sniper. You know, same off classes that Pogjuice were running in their successful defense last push.
Oh, Catfish actually just domes Frydog to start.
There you go, beautiful. But they're losing a lot of players to this still. Oh, there you go. Yeah, really good defense. Absolutely demolishes vast majority of those players, you know. Just the medic trying his hardest to get out with the Solemn Vow, which I didn't know was unbanned.
I'm not sure if Kenji got a 2k sticky trap or if he just like hit 2 people with the same sticky, but they really lack the firepower to take down the heavy because of the kills, especially when your demo just dies before you Uber in. You really lack the damage and the firepower to take down the heavy, which just makes your last push so difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Getting any of those off classes down on those large mids is so hard without, you know, proper coordination with your DM man, or if he just dies early like that, it can be really brutal.
Yeah, Salt Free, I think. Sorry, Salt Free
continue.
just, yeah. They just take mid for free after baiting a soldier bomb, which I think, you know, Skaz completely had that in mind. He knew that the soldier was gonna hide and try and force Snazzy, and they might actually just push second with 15% ad.
Interesting the players that they're managing to drop on the side of Pogjuice, you know? Just in these transition situations, their players are getting in, getting some good fray. This Frydog so close to dying to Zildjian, but he just runs out of rockets, you know? Just plays like that are really driving their push forward right now. They even managed to capture the second point without using, although, oh, I spoke too soon as they managed to drop just to that incredible late bomb by the Pogjuice Roma. I think the Roma at least.
They did see the Roma spamming from Cheese, but I think they just lost focus once Skaz ate a pipe and died, and someone wasn't looking at Cheese because Skaz died, which allowed him to get in for the, you know, he wanted to force, but he got something even better.
Yeah, I mean, going for the force, getting the drop, no one can complain about that. You know, that's absolutely turned it around, given them the Uber ad. You know, they're looking to push the second here, you know, with using that. We'll see if they can get it for free, see if they can get into last, or if Salt Free is going to defend this and force him to use it. Ratsup cleaning up a Wigan as he goes behind, which keeps their meta alive for this push. No
it looks like Salt. No, go ahead.
Oh, just looking like these players are getting out, you know, worried that some of them might have gotten caught out there, but no, they managed to pull out pretty well. But right into the Uber charge, not fast enough. But they do manage to get their own Uber in time, but unfortunately have dropped Kenji, which is going to make the defense just a little bit harder. But it doesn't really seem to matter, as that legendary Salt-Free last defense is, you know, coming out again. Oh no, just full turned around near the end there. Lots of back and forth on that.
Oh, that was really chaotic. I think Kenji dying there had a big part to play in Salt-Free not getting the last hold. Even though their counter Uber was pretty good and they got a few exchange kills, but I think ultimately not having a demo there for, you know, the entire fight it's just too big of a hurdle to overcome.
Yeah, definitely. Getting that Uber charge just too late. But here's another mid. See how it'll go. See if we get another aggressive bomb out from Lizard Wizard early on. Look like Zildjian is initiating the aggression this time. Really close to killing the medic. Pushes him right back out of Saw. And Snazzy's doing pretty well to survive the counter aggression, although they do lose quite a few players there and are forced out of the mid. Oh, continuing to chase, and there Snazzy goes down to those really aggressive players on Pogjuice.
Yeah, I was gonna say Snazzy did a good job of getting out of getting out of mid, but somehow he just gets caught out and he was not quick enough to, you know, back out, and Catfish couldn't kill the soldier in time.
Yeah, something I've been noticing is Pogjuice is doing really well at, you know, capturing a point and then really immediately pushing to the next one to catch out any players that are a bit too slow and pulling out. Let's see how they're going to handle this last push. They already have Catfish down, but doesn't look like they've gotten too much done. They didn't manage to really get much forward, get much pressure on the point. But they have managed to clean up the players, and that's what counts. This is kind of some of what you were mentioning with the Salt-Free not really winning these mids too much, and that's setting up Pogjuice for some really good pushes off of that. So we'll see if they turn around. Maybe Zildjian aggressed first last mid. Let's see if they follow up better this mid, or what's going to happen.
Zildjian's in?
Now, oh yes, Zildjian in. Wigan attempted to go up but got denied. Lots of pressure, and he gets the medic with a really nice airborne rocket. Snazzy, dies to the crater. Just unlucky there as they're getting cleaned up. It's now the Catfish versus Ratsup 1v1. Catfish has the health. See if he's going to clean up Ratsup, or what Ratsup wants to do here. Oh look, they're going for the 1v1. See how this ends out. Catfish now has taken a really big meat shot. Ratsu looking to win this, and he gets it. And wins the mid for Pogjuice. Living up your name, you know? Very much the Pogjuice Aficionados. Still can't pronounce that. Okay, so now they've come up crits. This is very interesting. Now we're going to see how they want to push this. Going to go really aggressive. They're going to have the crit sad, but not by too much.
Yeah, I think timing-wise, it's actually a really good crits timing. Like, I don't think Salt Free is going to expect this at all, considering, you know, how Pogjuice have had the momentum all game, and they're just going to bust out a crits instead of playing like a normal game. And we'll see if the crits does anything here.
Gets a frag, but Snazzy is building Uber very quickly here. He might get it just enough time to turn this around. Oh, and he doesn't. Massive crits from Frydog, and the well-deserved taunt as he cleans up against Salt Free.
I expected Salt Free to actually back out once they lost 3 people to the crits and like just hold last with Uber, but apparently I guess they decided to stay in, and it's just a very clean round for Pogjuice.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a high level of aggression out of these teams. You know, they really don't want to give up these points. They really don't want to slack on these pushes, really. And plays like that crits play, you know, absolutely aggressive, absolutely balls to the ball. You know, you love to see it. Coming into this mid, it'll be interesting to see whether, you know, they turn up the aggression or if Salt Free decides to play it a bit more passively. But very early bomb in, position being taken by Pogjuice, although they haven't gotten too much out of it. Frydog goes very forward and gets the medic, surviving in dungeon. Although Salt Free also manages to clean up on a lot of players on the side of Pogjuice. Gonna see if Scans can clutch it. Yeah.
I think he's not gonna fight it. He's probably just backing out lower and gonna meet with Snazzy.
Might go for a bit of a goblin play or something. Nah, he's falling right back out like you said, yeah. Yeah, really not having too much success on these mids, are they? Apart from that first one, they're not really having a lot of luck converting this, although they now are getting the medic a lot more often. So, you know, surviving on second for a lot longer. Although they still have Uber to sad. Snazzy came up later, or maybe wasn't building as well.
Yeah, Pogjuice is actually on crit still.
So yeah, let's see how Ravi does this. Oh, that's the crit sad again. So if they pull this again, hopefully Salt Free is expecting this more this time. They are holding very close. Yeah. There goes Kenji down, Skaznik down, Wigan down. Another massive crits off Frydog. This crits has just been working really well for them after these mids.
Yeah, it's the second time where like I think Snazzy didn't die to the initial sticky, but he chooses to walk back into the crits, which I think is a bit puzzling. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're going for a really aggressive defense on these crits. You know, they really want to get the frags on them to try to stop the crits instead of just pulling out of it. Especially when you're holding that close, though. I mean, what choice do you really have, though?
I expect to see the same soldier aggression from Salt Free again, but I do hope that they will do a better job in keeping Snazzy alive.
Yeah, definitely. See if they can protect their medic while doing the same pressure that they've been getting this last few mid. High bomb from Lizard. A lot of position being taken by Pogjuice, although they have lost a player. But it doesn't seem to matter as the scouts clean up on the low players on Salt Free's side. Even players now, but Ratsup is getting forward and getting the good meat shots down, so... Oh, beautiful pipe from Kenji. Splashes it off the scout, killing the medic. Kenji now going for more ham with Skaz here. They actually managed to clean up those chasing players, defending the medic.
Yeah, they just need to be really careful of stuff like this where the soldier comes in and doesn't get the force, but Salt Free just needs to be aware of all the shenanigans that's gonna happen in the next 30 seconds, where Pogjuice is gonna try and force them before they ever get a chance to push into last.
Definitely, this could be the start of a comeback here, as now they've got the mid, now they've got that full ad, you know, let's see how they get it. There is a player sitting in forwards on Sniper though, so we'll have to see how that pans out, if they notice him, or if he's going to get that drop. Oh, they've noticed him here. He's still trying to peek for it though, now he's swapped off, and that should be a much easier pushing time for Salt Free.
I would like to see Salt Free not push by lower just because of the sideline you get it's just so much worse lower. You can't see anything. You can't see where the enemy combo is holding or where the sentry is. So I would like to see them change it up, because the last pushes they've had, they went lower and failed.
Yeah, it has not been working out for them, so we'll see if they go for a more aggressive left side, right side push, you know, try to get on them sooner. But they have lost their Uber, yeah.
Yeah, they actually recognize that. Oh. Blue actually counter-sacks two soldiers, so Salt3 might actually just go for a trade here. You see Skaz in front, taking the Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skaz tries to get the enemy to flash, doesn't really get a whole lot, he's just gonna die. Snazzy actually dies, which I think really shouldn't have happened. Probably, I don't think they were really committing to that last push, so I think Snazzy could have gotten out a bit earlier. And we'll see if Pogjuice actually chooses to push out last. I don't blame them if they don't want to push out last, considering they're 4-0 up, but
yeah,
you know, it's a pretty good opportunity when the enemy has no medic.
Definitely. You know, good 2-sack play, even though it didn't get the force, you know, still set them up set them up for that defense on that Uber advantage. You know, that's interesting that they let that Uber advantage dwindle away instead of pushing that super aggressively, but you know, they've been taking their time with these last so far. So let's now see how they handle this, since we have another Uber advantage on Ravu. But quite a decent amount actually, since Snazzy died in that.
Yeah, they should know that they have ad, and they do decide to push. It's just 20% ad. Red Soup leading the charge, not even having to use here on Ravu, and I think Salt3 just loses 2 players trying to force them, and I don't think they'll be contesting that any further.
Yeah, no, those sacks didn't really go too well for them, and you know, they're just dropping points, but they do have now equalized Ubers, so hopefully they'll be able to hold on to the second for a bit longer. It looks like they're planning on trading this. Yeah, that's really forward. They've gone for the Uber trade. It seems like a pretty successful trade so far. A lot of flashes. Although we'll count if they can get Snazzy out of it, which they have. They've also picked up some frags here, and Skaz going in for Wigglesworth. Really good aggression there. Some good sight lines. They got Zildjian had some good spam on their combo, and yeah, they've cleaned up almost a full wipe just with a spawner coming up on mid. Really good defense there from Salt3.
Yeah, just showcasing the power of a post-Uber scout, you know, with you're just so mobile in fights and you reload so quickly that you can just keep repeating over and over again and just pump out consistent damage. And once again, Salt3 just needs to look out for all these players trying to go after Snazzy's life, because you know that the same thing's gonna happen again, and they do clean up one soldier who was hiding. So it's a pretty good start from there, but we'll see if they can convert this round.
Ratsup is on sniper near the boxes. Although doesn't seem to have had a lot of success there. Hasn't really gotten too much. It's looking like Salt3 will be taking this point, and their defense has been really good on these players moving through, although they did get a bit aggressive and lost both their soldiers there again. See how long they'll wait for them if they want to use this Uber advantage, although it doesn't really look like they'll be able to use it before it equalizes.
Yeah, given the time situation, I think Salt3 just wants to trade, and Skaz just takes the Uber and tries to force Pogjuice, but it doesn't really look like a good Uber for Salt3 here, and they're just backing out into lobby, and Kenji might get caught. Manages to get out.
Flashing, you know, Kenji in there seems like a pretty dodgy move for the trade. But it's interesting. I want to know if they knew that was a trade, or if they thought they had Uber ads still getting in there. Just really wanted to close out the kill on the medic. Either way, they still managed to hold second out of it, so you know, no big loss, and they just go back to building.
We'll see if Wigan comes up with on an off class. I do expect him to come up on something, just because of the time situation. He actually stays on Soldier.
Wonder if they'll send a second and Zildjian now get another spy up, although yeah, I don't think they'd do that given that they're running pretty low on time. They might not have time for the spy. Ratsuit back on the sniper though, picks up the demo, which could herald a push from Pogjuice. Yeah, here they come. They come to push out right into the team. Looks like they're going to exchange Ubers here. Soldier dead on the side of Pogjuice to Wigan. And yeah, they're looking to convert this into a push. Getting lots of aggression in here. Skaz from under. Picked up the frags they might need here. They have the player advantage. but Catfish goes down there. We'll see. They've got some control over the point, and there they go. First round on the board for Salt Free.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Salt Free managed to get a pick during the Uber trade, and they also popped their Uber later, which meant that Catfish had like 2 or 3 seconds of free reign to kill Ravu. And I believe that was just some easy cleanup because you have a medic advantage as well as your scouts living post Uber.
Yeah, definitely the turning point for them there. Let's see if they can keep it going this mid, or if they're gonna go back to crumbling. Lots of aggression on top, but that is absolutely devastating for Salt Free. Their players have been absolutely put into the meat grinder this mid. Everyone dying just for Frydog on the side of Pogjuice. And this is looking disastrous for Salt Free.
I believe
that's looking like a pause, yeah. Yeah, maybe strat talk from Salt Free, you know, trying to figure out how to solve this, or what do you reckon?
I'm not sure, but I think they'll just be looking to focus on the next map. Though, since it's a pause and it's Salt Free, I do expect someone to accidentally kill Bind then.
Of course. So what we've seen so far is, I think we've pretty much confirmed all your analysis on this team. You know, we've seen some pretty disastrous last pushes. We've seen some, you know, shaky mids. You know, Pogjuice has really been dominating a lot of these situations, and we've also seen those really good last defenses. You know, even against some pretty bad situations. So yeah, pretty spot on there. It's going to be interesting to see how this last 6 minutes or so plays out. Although this is looking like it's probably going to be another round for Pogjuice, as they're going into this with full Uber, lots of players. Frydogs are probably about to get up, so I don't really know how much Salt Free is going to be able to get out of this, especially when they don't really have time to build sentry gun or anything. Ooh, we've unpaused.
And my HUD is actually broken, but I do believe that Pogjuice have full at pushing into last, and I don't see any. Alright, Zildjian is setting up a sentry, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be set up in time for this last push. The only hope here, I think, really is Kenji just getting a kill with his sticky trap, or someone dying during the Uber, but kind of seems unlikely as Pogjuice look to push in here.
Yeah, definitely Pogjuice coming in under to right, it seems like. Going to be heading in straight onto the sentry gun behind the boxes. There they go, there comes the Uber, focusing down on the heavy actually. No, they get the sentry gun down. Now they're pushing over to the left side, looking for those frags while putting the pressure on point. And yeah, very clean, very easy last cap.
Salt Free had absolutely no presence on point. I think Zildjian was on engineer and he died, so they had one person fewer to jump the point. And so Pogjuice didn't even have to get any kills with their Uber, to be honest. They just stood on the point and nobody was there to contest them.
Yeah, died while moving the sentry gun. Absolutely tragic. Now going into the next mid, Wigan going into kitchen. Maybe going to try something funny in there. Again, heavy pressure onto Salt Free, pushing them right back into their dungeon. But they do get the frag advantage. But Pogjuice does have position here over point. They've still got the 2 scouts there. That looks like it might have been another pause.
Yeah, I saw Snazzy just standing in the middle of nowhere with arrows out, so I assume that it's Snazzy's internet that is running into some problems. And
could be it, you know. Hopefully internet related. Nothing going to be happen like the time he left out on us during Grand Finals in Highlander. I'm still salty about that, but you know, we put it behind us. Yeah, it doesn't really look like there's too much Salt Free can do to really turn this around. I mean, they'd have to get 4 rounds in 5 minutes, which is, I guess, maybe theoretically doable, but you know, not too likely, especially if they're going to have to wait a little more for Snazzy maybe to rejoin if he's timing out right now. And yeah, probably most likely see this map going to Pogjuice.
yeah, I don't think Salt Free are too phased by this score, you know, like, just given the way I know they like to play the game. I think they'll be looking to focus on a map. They're probably just having a good time in Mumble, maybe discussing a little bit about what they can do better. But I think overall the atmosphere should be pretty good, even with Snazzy's internet issues. But I do think that Salt Free just has to be a bit more clinical in their last pushes. Like, Pogjuice, I have to say that Pogjuices, their crits plays have been really good. Like, the way that I've seen them conduct the crits pushes is that they, obviously you crits the demo, but then the people with the combo are just committed to protecting that demo, so even if Frydog misses like his initial sticky, it just gives him more opportunities to keep shooting out all those crit projectiles just because you know that Wigan and Zildjian are gonna bomb him when they see the crits, but Pogjuice have been doing a really good job of anticipating that and protecting Frydog so that he has, you know, multiple opportunities to get stickies off. And usually it's not the first sticky that kills people, but the second and third one.
Alright, going back into it. Yeah, this is actually looking like a mid 4 salt free here, as they've pushed out, they've used their player advantage to push out Pogjuice. But yeah, definitely, I mean, Pogjuices definitely know how to play their crits, and they're doing really good aggression on their players, you know? Definitely, I think, a lot of their flanks MVPs at the moment. Big bombs coming in, doing quite a lot of damage, and they get the force for the trade, but they have lost 2 for it, which could be pretty disastrous for them here.
Oh, Sofri actually get 3 kills. I think they should just leave the scout cap and roll this, you know, roll this numbers add to last. If they want to actually get a few rounds here, it might actually make a difference regards to the season overall, but we'll never know.
Yeah, definitely. They've pushed in now under here. And yeah, they've gotten the medic, they're getting a lot of crucial frags here, but they do not have point presence, and they haven't really managed to get down those off classes. Beautiful arrow though from Snazzy, keeping a player alive during the middle of that, as he does get out, but no successful last push for them there.
Snazzy does have slight add, so we might see them just recycle and push again, but once again, Saltfree just not being able to convert a last push, which I think has been a recurring concern for them.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully we're going to see it turn around a bit on Sunshine, but as we see Ravu going again for crits, see if that's going to be enough to outpace the Uber advantage that Snazzy had. Interesting play. I guess they've got 4 minutes left, they're not too worried about just sitting there on the defense. You know, they're happy to take this aggressively, although they have just lost some of their forward players there and gotten pushed back out a second.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Yeah, there's looking like they might be having some of issues there. They might become the cause of the pause there. You know, claims of DDoS are being thrown around from both sides, so yeah. Ratsup again on the sniper. Sniper defense with crits on last. You know, this is very interesting out of Pogjuice. Maybe they're just looking to do this aggressively. Yeah, aggressive crits onto Frydog. See if we can get anything. They get Wigan without the crits, but apart from that, haven't really seemed to pick up much with it. See what kind of counter aggression comes out of Saltfree here.
Saltfree actually do get Frydog, so we might actually see them just push without demo, yeah.
Yeah, an unsuccessful snipe there coming in. And yeah, Ubercharge on point. Very likely this is going to be another round for Saltfree.
Not the cleanest of last pushes because they dropped Kenji and had to commit more people to the heavy, but yeah, rounds around.
Exactly, rounds around. And it's good to see Pogjuice is willing to try out a few alternate strats here now that they're in, you know, pretty much dead time, less than 3 minutes. They've basically won this, so they're happy to do a bit more creative stuff. But seeing Saltfree still pushing this, they've still got the drive to get those rounds, you know, it's really good to see. Going into another mid, Zildjian floated over right on top of their medic. A lot of damage on their side, but unfortunately Saltfree gets absolutely demolished again out of another beautiful mid from Pogjuice. Pogjuice has really been hammering these mids out, you know, something fierce.
Yeah, we'll see if Kenji should get out. Dueling a soldier on last. Alright, nah. She's just not to chase. Yeah, I think Saltfree just, they're not paying enough attention to keeping Snazzy alive, other than the first middle, where Snazzy is just alone most of the time wandering on point because he's being zoned out by a soldier and nobody's really dealing with it. At least that's what happened in the last mid. So Snazzy just got really caught out in front of point because he couldn't retreat because there was a soldier.
Ooh, beautiful snipe from Wigan of all players to get down the medic, taking down Rav. It's really impressive. Looks like they have the wrong person on sniper this whole time. Yeah, and that
Pogjuice-
definitely holds off the last push.
Pogjuice actually trying to go for back cat player, I think. I don't think it'll work because it's a sentry, but good effort considering the
Sentries
time.
A lot of players, yeah, definitely. See that after 1 minute left, they're still at runs up. They're still going for the back camps. You know, it's good to see people playing it out to the end.
Control point is being captured.
Yeah, 50 seconds left. Let's see how aggressively Pogjuice wants to do this. You know, knowing that they've got a very small amount of time now to push to try to end up another round. Just building Uber. Doesn't look like. It looks like Salt Free's the one who's looking to get aggression here. You know, using this Uber charge, probably through kitchen. Just looking to hopefully get this midpoint before the time runs out.
The control point is being captured.
Cleaning up one player. And now here's the counter push from Pogjuice, but they
Oh.
lose their medic.
Oh, that was
That's a team wipe from Salt Free. Absolutely disgusting. You know, that counter push was demolished, you know. Wasn't even able to get off the ground, but hey, 4 seconds left, and that's going to be a GG for Snakewater. 5-2 to Pogjuice Aficionados. I can't pronounce that word.
Yeah, is there anything you've noticed in particular that is really separating these two teams so far?
Yeah, I just want like the Pogjuice aggression is, you know, absolutely incredible here. We're seeing a lot of players being able to push forward immediately after capturing a point to catch out slow players. You know, any players that Salt Free hasn't been pulling out in time are getting pretty reliably cleaned up by the Pogjuice players. You know, they're really managing the aggression well, really able to get that pressure in. You know, so they're getting a lot of map control off of it. If there is an advantage to be had, they're pretty much taking it almost every time.
Yeah, and I believe that. I think if I remember correctly, there were 2 crits plays that just single-handedly won them the round, like twice. So even though the score was actually just 5-2, which may not seem like a close scoreline, if you consider the context of the rounds and how, you know, each crits play from Pogjuice was just a 6-man wipe on Salt Free, and just directly won them the round. It's actually
Yeah.
just like, you know, the same reason that they lost 2 rounds, which could have been avoided. But I do have to say that Pogjuice, once again, like when I watched their last crits, the demo was again able to get off a few, like multiple stickies and pipes because he's so well protected. And Wigan and Zildjian didn't really get any opportunities to just insta-gib him.
Yeah, for sure. They really clearly know their critzes because Salt Free knows how to fight against critzes. You know, they're pushing in the players right when they need to. But the defense from Pogjuice when they're pulling their critzes off is really good. Like you said, just buying all that extra time for Frydog to pick up frags. You know, cleaning up from other players as well. And it's been reflected in the logs, you know, Frydog dropping over 11,000 damage, you know, just shy of 400 DPM on this map. Definitely boosted by those critzes, you know. Top frags as well, 30 frags. Absolutely crazy. Definitely showing the work of those crits, I guess. But we also see Rat Soup, you know, in there with 29 frags, you know, just second to Frydog. So really, really hammering on top of that. That support from Frydog and Rat Soup as the demo and the combo scout is really working out well for Pogjuice. We can also see, you know, just deaths-wise, Wiggins topping it to 27, but not too far behind is Lizard with 25. So the team's roamers are both pretty evenly getting their hands on each other, you know, both getting in there. Although we've seen Pogjuice's pocket taking things a little slower on the deaths, you know, not getting caught out as much. Zildjian and Wigan were, like you said, going in for a lot of those double sacks, seeing what they could do there. And that's reflected as well.
Yeah, I do think Lizard's deaths have been better deaths in the sense that his deaths are opening up a lot of things for his team. Whereas I think a few times Wigan might just die randomly on flank losing a 1v1, which is, you know, completely avoidable situation in the grand context of the fight. So I do think that, you know, either Salt Free needs to initiate with Wigan and follow up, or Wigan has to maintain some personal discipline and not just take 1v1s that are not favorable. Whereas it's just really clear that Pogjuice and their soldiers have been doing a lot of the initiating for their team, which allows for the demo and their pocket scout to just walk in with heals and just deathmatch everything.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, and a lot of this we can see from the games as well, and I think that's part of it's really allowing Pogjuice to get forward here. That and just like you said, those crits has really skewed things right off balance. Like we can see, really just helps those combo logs there. So for the medics here, I mean, 3 crits Craigs, as well as 3 extra medigun charges out of Rav over Snazzy. Despite roughly similar deaths, looks like Rav really was able to get much more building done or out of it than Snazzy was. You can see with the average time to build, Snazzy on 82 seconds compared to Rav's 67 seconds, just pumping out way more Ubers, definitely helped by the 3 crits as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much credit I'm gonna give to the statistic, but 83 seconds is really long to build Uber, and I think given that Skaz has died 20 times, which is quite a lot for Pocket Scout, maybe Salt Free or maybe Skaz has to just value his life a little more, because oftentimes I see that Catfish is usually with Snazzy getting out, so it might be something to consider for them.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, we see Skaz topping the heals for his team, not by too much, 26 to 27%, compared to, of course, Frydog getting the more bulk of the heals from Rav, probably reflecting those crits a bit. But yeah, Skaz seems to be taking a lot of heals, getting in pretty aggressively, but not surviving till the end of the fight. Apart from that, we've seen Catfish getting pretty stuck on the heels, but same roughly as their scout. They mainly have their soldiers. Lizard getting completely scuffed on the heels, unlike the more even spread we've seen from Snazzy. So I think that's definitely the flank from Pogjuice is taking a little bit more freedom, getting a little bit more forward when they have to. We see, I feel, a bit more coordination between sacks and plays from Salt Free, even though it might not be getting the same results. So coming into Sunshine, what do you think these heal spreads will be looking roughly the same, or do you think there are any more players that Deb are going to be looking to tank onto? Do you think Frydog is going to continue with these crits plays? Rav's going to continue with these crits plays onto Frydog, onto over Sunshine, or do you think they're just going to see better success with those on Snakewater?
Yeah, I'm not sure how viable crits is on Sunshine. I guess the viability of crits is not really with the map, but more of with the timing and the situation. But I do think that the crits plays that worked for Pogjuice on previous map were all in enclosed areas, such as like Saw, holding Saw as on the attacking team and then attacking Saw, which really gives your stickies a lot of potential to do damage, whereas Sunshine might be a little bit more open. So I'm not sure if the viability of crits is better on Sunshine, though I do think that, or rather I would like to see Skaz and Kenji play together a bit more, because I noticed that Kenji is getting caught out sometimes, which might not be his fault, but it's just something that Salt Free has to deal with if they want to take this map.
Definitely. So now we're going into Sunshine here. Looks like almost all the players are in the server. Maybe Snazzy might still have some of those internet problems that he was having earlier.
Yeah.
So
when I played with Salt Free, I noticed that what they like to do on Sunshine mids is they like to just mirror what the other side. So if the enemy goes one side, they just take the other side and make it a slow, grind it out kind of spam fest.
Right, so if they're looking to play this slow, then we could be seeing something like a sniper from them as well. They did have a bit of success with that last round on their last holds as well.
Yeah, though I do have to say that I think if you choose to go this route, it favors a team with a better DM, just because as you trade more projectiles and more spam, like if you have better rocket aim or pipe aim or sticky bomb aim, like most of the time you should come out on top if you choose to play this passive style. And I think Frydog has been doing really well on mids, so I'm not sure if Salt Free if it's in their best interest to go for this kind of strategy, but it's something that they're comfortable with. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually try and do it.
Alright, it'll be interesting to see what they've learnt from fighting this team on Snakewater, if they'll be better able to, pull those players out before they get caught out by forward aggression from Pogjuice, and if they're going to be caught out by the same crits plays again on this map, maybe see some stuff through Cafe, some stuff through Valley, especially, or some of these maybe even on last pushes could be quite interesting. So, yeah, and see if they can maybe stop the bit of a train that Rat Soup's building up here. He's having quite a lot of impact on that combo scout. But yeah, I think like you said, mainly on these mids here, we're seeing Frydog is doing quite a lot of work, and in phase play as well. So maybe that could give a little bit of advantage on the side of Pogjuice if Salt Free does decide to slow it down. But again, we'll see if their soldiers can get the same opportunities they were getting last game, during the mids, or if this is a game that Salt Free might be a little more prepared for. Right. It'll be also cool to see essentially if because this last does have quite a few interesting ways to push it, quite a few interesting ways to hold it. There are some very strong holds on these last points, so we could see another weakness of Salt Free coming out here. Maybe they're not able to fully convert these lasts as they were before, and maybe they might get caught out a bit by that and by these sentry holds and stuff and sniper holds that you can pull out of this. And but again, we were seeing them having really good defenses. So if Pogjuice isn't really able to get those large advantages, those large Ubers off the mids, then yeah, maybe we could see things going more the way of Salt Free.
Yeah, and considering how important the Demo Man class is at pushing last, because you just need his burst damage to take down, like beefy targets like a sentry or heavy, and also considering how Kenji I feel has been, maybe either caught out or dropped a few times, I think that Salt Free do need to make an adjustment with how they conduct their Ubers, like be it the trades or the pushes. They just need Kenji to not die, and Kenji needs to put himself in a position to not get caught, so that at least he can do something with his 8 stickies and 4 pipes like post Uber. But if he just dies with all his ammo still in, without using his ammo, then he's just done nothing the whole fight, which is really a huge part of Salt Free's damage, I feel. So I think Salt Free, especially if they want to convert these last pushes, have to prioritize putting Kenji in a better position.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be also interesting to see, because Sunshine's a very scout-heavy map, so if that might make it a little bit more difficult for the demos, if, Zildjian and Catfish can pull ahead, or if they're going to keep getting put down a bit by Rat Soup here, because that could cause a lot of things. If Kenji's able to easily deal with that, put Rat Soup down, then yeah, that could make it a lot easier for them. Right, looks like the teams are getting closer to actually playing the game. We've got a ready up out of one of them. Sorry about the wait. It's been so long. We've had some server issues today, or maybe it was the Bogdanovs in the background doing the DDoSes on the, at the will of Rat Soup, but no one's got to admit to that. So yeah, and it looks like we're getting underway here. Very soon, this game's starting. Gonna see the first mid.
Yeah, I expect Salt Free to just mirror on the first mid.
Gonna see which demo gets there first, who's been practicing their rollouts on this one better. Both getting there roughly the same time. Yeah, just both teams taking position here. Although we see Pogjuice's soldiers got quite aggressive, taking position really aggressively there. Did quite a bit of the map, and have taken their early bombs. We've seen both soldiers now getting hammered, but yeah, Pogjuice just absolutely takes position on that mid, gets the frags they need, and yeah, have secured the first mid. Still trying to chase Snazzy,
Wow.
And they get him. They get Snazzy down. That's absolutely massive for them.
Control point is being captured.
My goodness. Now they're going to cap the second with another full Uber ad before they push last, and all their players now up. Really strong start for Pogjuice.
Yeah, Wigan dying so early into the mid was just not ideal, considering Salt Free wanted to play it slow and mirror what Pogjuice were doing, and if you're just down one spam class right from the start, like your firepower is just gonna be lacking.
Uber used through the right here on the scout and the demo man. They've taken a lot of the players off it, they've taken a lot of the position, but the heavy is still up after the Uber fades, and that's bringing in frags for the side of Salt Free. Doesn't look like this push is going to be too successful for Pogjuice. Successful hold from Salt Free.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not dealing with Catfish, right? Like, Catfish was alive for way too long, and it just resulted in them not being able to convert because they couldn't deal with him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, pushing in, that's a big danger you're going to have when you push them on the right side, and if all their team is on the left, you know. Salt Free did a pretty good delaying action there. You tied up a bit of the Uber on that right side, so they could save their heavy on the left and use that to clean up afterwards. And now they're using that to, you know, using that Uber charge to push out. They've taken second, now they're going to looking to take mid for free as well. But Soldier right on top of Snazzy, it forces him to use, keeps on holding until that last rocket comes out. Would have dropped him, but yeah, good time he popped. But now that gives him the Uber disad and might allow Pogjuice to leapfrog this.
Yeah, I feel like Salt Free can definitely push this two-man ad, because Pogjuice is is close to getting it, but they don't have it yet, so Salt Free might just push in.
Definitely, Wigan almost going down there. But yeah, good push by Salt Free, keeping their players alive, allowing them to take that without, you know, losing anyone. Really sets them up well for, because now Pogjuice isn't able to push with their Uber while they're two players down.
Yeah, that was really good, and Catfish just single-handedly destroyed both soldiers. I would like to see, I don't know, Pogjuice set up better for that, but considering Red Soup was down, I think they decided the decision not to fight it was good.
Yeah, for sure. And now they're getting their play. They're probably going to get this Uber as well to hold this. You know, that's just done so much for them. What could have turned into having to hold mid, but Pogjuice is still going to try pushing this with the small amount of ad that they thought they had. Really late pop from Snazzy means they're going to have a much better Uber charge here.
Pogjuice is so committed, they might just get all cleaned up here, starting with Frydog.
Almost picked up Kenji there, but luckily he got out on sliver of HP and got the pack. Let's see how this post-Uber fight's going to go. Both scouts bumping heads, demo involved as well. Wigan on the sniper getting a headshot in the middle of that mess. That's going to be really good for them, and it's going to probably allow them to push last with this two-player advantage. Oh, Snazzy going in for the first player pushing on his team. Probably not the best thing to do as the medic. Doesn't quite survive there. Wigan, however, looking like he's going for the back cap on sniper, but he gets found out by a scout and taken down.
Yeah, Salt Free probably a bit too eager to push with the man advantage, because Snazzy just walked in front of his heal target and just got caught out with a few good spam rockets from Pogjuice.
Looking to be here, doesn't always work well. Snazzy is now actually cut off by a rocket, but looks like he's going to be able to regroup with his team, no problem. Isn't going to get pushed too hard by Lizard. But Wigan does get cleaned up as he tries to push that frag. So, but now Pogjuice have the Uber ad and the slight player ad, and they're pushing in very aggressively just as they catch that last point. But Salt Free have done really well in just pulling right out of there and not getting any of their players caught out. Now they'll be seeing if they can get that Uber charge and leapfrog back onto second.
Yeah, if nothing goes wrong, Salt Free should be conducting a last push, or rather push out of last with Uber, which is not the easiest thing to do on this map considering the many, flank doors that you have to clear, but we'll see how they do it.
See if they can keep those doors cleared, or if we're going to see some back caps maybe out of Pogjuice, although we haven't really seen them attempt too much so far. Lizard going under, this could be a back cap attempt. He runs into a soldier though, and does go to take him down, but gets, cornered out by Scaz.
He actually bought a lot of time, so Pogjuice might just use the Uber to... Yeah, I think they're going to use the Uber to hold second. I'm not sure if Salt Free knows.
Doesn't look like they know with how aggressively they're getting in, but they do pick up a frag anyway. Pogjuice has rotated around and pushed last now. If they can clear up these players and get on the point really quickly... Oh, but they are caught up by the other scouts. This is now a very heavy DM fight, although the Uber charge out for Salt Free does look like it's going to save it for them. Although they have lost a lot of players here, so let's see if Pogjuice can get something to happen here, or if they're just going to be pushed back to mid.
Oh. Yeah, it should be a pretty easy cleanup for Salt Free. The rest are just spawners, so they just need to, you know, make sure that the spawners don't get anything funny done. Scares just cleans up a soldier hiding lower, so Scares completely saw that coming. And should be a pretty easy mid push.
Really good cover from Salt Free, you know, as they're pushing out of here, making sure no one can come in for the back cap. Catching out Rat Soup there in Valley as well. No, that's really good for them. That gives them a 2-player advantage while pushing, as well as the Uber advantage. It's going to allow them to take a lot of space and get this push going really fast.
Yeah, Salt Free definitely knows that they have Uber ad here, considering they killed the medic right at the end of the Uber, or rather they killed medic after Uber, so they should know that they have some sizable Uber ad, and they choose to push Cafe here, leading on Scares.
Ooh, see if they catch out the traps and pop early enough so they don't die to them. That is going to put them at Uber disad though, unless they can pick up some players to allow them to push last. They do get Frydog, which is a pretty good pick there. And they're cleaning up on the flank as well, taking down Wigglesworth. So, yeah, this is looking not too bad for Salt Free, despite the fact that they have Uber disad. They did get the player kills. They can maybe delay this again like they did last time. Maybe try to go for another back cap or something. But as soon as this player comes up, I am expecting a pretty aggressive push out of Pogjuice.
Pogjuice actually chooses to push by lower left, and they don't even have to use while they get Zildjian and Wiggins, so I think Salt Free should just back out all the way to mid.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think
They're
it's
going to get cut off here. Yeah, so that Uber charge comes in and cuts them off in Cafe, gets Kenji, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get Snazzy, who's pulling right out really quickly. Although they are trying to commit players forward to it. They are going to get this mid anyway, with that 2-player advantage, but give the Uber advantage over to Salt Free for the leapfrog.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. I'm not sure if the Salt Free soldiers called that Pogjuice were going behind on their combo, but I think it's just a mistake that Salt Free soldiers just die there without getting anything done, like forcing the enemy. Probably should set themselves up in a better position to anticipate the Uber coming in.
Yeah, definitely. We're now seeing another push out from Salt Free, but they have just lost Catfish in that, which is pretty bad. And there's a back cap going on. Lizard Wizard and Montgomery Wigglesworth. And the drop onto Snazzy. This could not be going more wrong for Salt Free. That push was absolutely disastrous. Although they do manage to salvage that second point, at least for now. With Pogjuice coming in through Valley, they're not going to be able to hold this for much longer. As we see them running as far as they can away, Kenji getting cleaned up after flying through the air, trying to get to safety through balcony. This looking... So yeah, continue.
No, sorry, yeah, I was just gonna say the only saving grace here is that Salt Free probably has some time to set up a sentry or heavy, because Pogjuice doesn't look like they want to push in, so they're just probably waiting for their spawns. We do see Wigan on Sniper, but I think Pogjuice has been doing a very good job pushing to last. I don't expect them to fail this.
Yeah, definitely. It's been quite a while, 10 minutes, and we haven't seen the first round. We'll see if it goes out here. Quick 2 frags, very good positioning, lots of cleanup, and yeah, this is going the way of Pogjuice. First round, Pogjuice Aficionados in 10 minutes.
Yeah, just a quick from their last to your last, you know, like just catching up the 2 soldiers, pushing out of last, and not having to use the Uber, and then Red Soup wrapping all the way behind, and just riding the momentum. That was really a very clean and clinical round from Pogjuice.
Definitely. See if they try to... We'll see if they try to do anything different on this mid here. Maybe protect Kenji a little bit more. But again, the Pogjuice soldiers are getting such good positioning, such good spam. They take down Snazzy with those bombs. And yeah, they just have absolute control of this mid fight again.
Yeah, see if Zildjian can salvage anything, but I don't think he's gonna... Oh, gets the medic to really low, but doesn't get anything. If Scares committed with him, Scares might go for the medic. No, gets called.
Yeah, bit of disconnect there between those players, but yeah, good effort, gets the mid down quite low, but at the end of the day, they still got the mid, and now they've got Uber advantage as well. Kenji's trap doesn't seem to get anything there, so this is looking pretty dire for Salt Free. They're not trying to get up any sentry guns or any off class at the moment.
The control point is being contested.
So it'll be interesting to see what their plans are for this last hold and how they really want to do this. Because Pogjuice is probably going to push in very quickly. And it's like Pogjuice is taking this in under right into a pyro, but they take Wigan down really quickly. Through this left side, the Ubercharge has been mainly wasted. The sentry gun is still up, although they have picked up 3 frags now just for Atsu. They are getting time on Cat, and they have just cleaned up all the rest of Salt Free. Another round going to Pogjuice.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like having a soldier off class on last, just because you lose your a soldier can definitely hold a door better than a scout. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure if it's the best idea to sacrifice a soldier and all that spam capability to get a sentry. So maybe Salt Free might want to consider that next time.
Yeah, definitely. Instead of pushing those soldier off classes, see more of those scout off classes, especially on this map. Yeah, yet another mid. Let's see if anything goes differently. We're seeing soldiers taking very aggressive positioning from the Salt Free side. Has taken a lot of early position, but unfortunately they didn't get too much done, and now they're being pushed out again by Pogjuice. Let's see if this time they'll be able to get Snazzy out. It looks like they have been able to do successfully.
Depending on how confident Catfish is, they might want to fight middle again. I think Catfish, he decides not to. Which I think is also, it's not a bad call, but, I wouldn't have been surprised if Catfish wanted to fight mid, considering it was a 3v3 and scouts are just really strong in those situations.
Exactly, especially on this map, But this mid definitely went a lot better for Salt Free than the last 2 mids have, so they're clearly adapting, they're getting much more aggressive with their soldiers here, Like you pointed out, they definitely know what they need to do to try to turn this around.
Lizard's going in for force.
Yeah. Gets quite a bit of damage, but doesn't get anything significant there. And Wigan does go in for the counter sack for, again, not too much. So both teams now, again, just one player down, resettings, probably going to set up for another sack. I'm assuming that if they were going for an off class, they'd probably send Zildjian in, given he was the one off classing quite a bit on the last map. Yeah, it just looks like they're both coming back up soldier. So yeah, it looks like just more waiting until they decide to maybe send another sack. Both teams even Uber. There comes Lizard Wizard, right over top, gets on the players. Good rockets, but manages to pick up scares, but apart from that, nothing really too threatening on the medic.
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised that Pogjuice are the ones sacking in. I know that they have middle and, the onus is on them to push into enemy second, but considering the score differences, I think they just have to play solid and just not make any mistakes. Don't let anyone through without calling them, and Salt Free shouldn't have many opportunities to get the force if they play just, very stable TF2.
It'll be interesting seeing what the teams do to try to break the stalemate here. We see Skaz using that death to come up sniper, maybe try to get an angle through here. Looking to get an angle through Valley here, maybe baiting the player. But Pogjuice doesn't really look like they want to buy into that too much. Sending in 2-player sack right on the medic. They get the force and pick up Catfish. Which is really good from Pogjuice. Really good play.
I'm not sure if they decided to do that knowing Skaz was a sniper, because I don't think he was called, but if that was, the rationale behind the decision, that was really good, because you're down a class to deny all those soldiers, so it's just a lot easier to actually get the force on the medic, considering, Snazzy doesn't have anyone to run him out or anyone to deny the soldiers in the air.
The fact that both of them survived it as well, really good coordination, really good play. It feels practiced, but you never know. These guys have been showing such good aggression all through this game. You don't know if this stuff's practice, it's just natural talent.
Yeah, you even see Zildjian. Yeah, you even see Zildjian in chat just giving props to them for that double bomb. It was really well executed. The timing was good. Focused Snazzy really well, and then they both got out. That's just really textbook from them.
Outstanding play for sure. Seeing Frydog playing around Cafe here, let's maybe see a right side mid from Pogjuice. Early frags have been exchanged here. You see soldiers going right up into the skybox. Lizard missing the airshot, but they pick up the medic anyway. Very good collapse from the side of from Pogjuice, but again, Salt Free actually surviving quite with Kenji. That's the Kenji versus Medic 1v1. See how this one ends out. He's going for it. He's gotten the saw on him after getting out, and he wins the 1v1. Rav, you know, clearly proving that he's done more training on MG with Medic. So again, Pog just refusing to give up these mids, even if they only have to do it on the back of a Medic. Kenji exasperated in the chat. Good to see some nice friendly banter between the teams.
Yeah, Pogjuice should know that they have ad here, so I expect them to push. Just, you know, it's just a really good opportunity even though they're 3-0 up. They don't really have to take a lot of risk, and if they notice that their Uber is going bad, they can just make the call to get back.
Yeah, they get the force in, so they're not going to take the second for free and be able to take last. And it looks like they're getting snazzy out of this as well, so they'll definitely be able to hold this last with their Uber, despite losing Wigan and Zildjian.
Pogjuice are just gonna keep going.
Well, you can sum up most of last game and this game with that as well, just Pogjuice decide to keep going. But yeah, they definitely are going in, and they're getting quite a lot of position here. They have picked up Scared, although that Uber comes out at really good timing from Salt Free, so they'll be. Looks like they'll be able to defend this.
Catfish is on the medic.
And he
Gets
picked
him.
them up. He's been practicing with the pistol. This puts them into pretty good position for Salt Free, as now they have player, or well, they've just lost their player advantage through a few aggressive plays there, but they still do have that Uber advantage pushing out of this last, and they have shown that they're able to stop the back caps and clear doors pretty effectively.
Yeah, psychologically, like, Salt Free probably is not in the best spot right now, considering, like, you know, the score difference and the time, and also how you have to clear every door when you push out of last, and the responsibility to clear the stickies and make sure that your medic doesn't eat too much spam before you go in is it's quite a big trouble for them. So
definitely, for sure, but hopefully they can keep up, you know, the gameplay they've been showing us so far. They seem to have been a lot less phased than most teams by the way the games have been turning out, so we'll see if they can continue that energy into this push. But they do lose Wigan pretty early there, as Montgomery Wigglesworth actually goes for the back cap, and so does Lizard Wizard. That's two players on one. If Catfish can get cleaned up here, they use the Uber though to save that. But now Pogjuice pushing immediately using their Uber charge, getting down Kenji, cleaning up the players who just weren't expecting that kind of aggression. And this round looks like it's going to Pogjuice.
yeah, the moment Wigan died on flank, the Pogjuice flank just decided to, you know, force Salt Free to make a decision. Either you have to deal with us or you continue with your push and we're gonna threaten to backcap you. And I think Salt Free was a bit too slow in just making that decision to go back and ended up getting forced because of their hesitance.
Definitely. We'll see if they can continue. Ooh, Kenji going down immediately on the mid. That is disastrous for them. Pogjuice just is not slowing down at all. With 4 rounds up, they're still looking to take it. Trying to push this 5-0 as they've taken down Kenji and now pushing into second off that Demo Man advantage. Ratsup going down though to Wigan, but aggressive players getting right on top of the medic, picking up Snazzy. Brilliant play from Lizard Wizard. And Frydog, they're just cleaning them up now. And looks like they're going to take the second pretty handedly. This now puts them in a really good position as they've got the Uber advantage and the player advantage for pushing into this last. They're really looking to close this game out right here, right now.
And if the previous rounds have been any indication, I think Pogjuice will have no problems pushing into last. They just need to not drop the demo, allow him to do a lot of damage to the sentry or the heavy, and the rest should just follow from there.
Yeah, sentry on we see on the left side with the pyro hovering around it and the heavy. That's a 3 off classes. Salt Free does not want to lose this point right now. They don't want to go out. They want to keep clinging on to this. But in comes Pogjuice right on top of the demo, and they get him to full damage, picking up the sentry as well. A lot of picks on their side. That's 3 now down, and yeah, it looks like they're cleaning this up. And that's GG, with Sunshine now going to Pogjuice.
That was really clean actually. Like, I do want to say, I don't know, I think Kenji could have held a bit back just because he got cleaned up so easily, which meant there were no stickies on point, but that was clinical from Pogjuice. Like, their focus fire was really good, not dropping players when they pushed in, and then deciding to stack the point when the opportunity was there. Was not much can be said. Like, there's not much room for improvement on that last push. It was just perfect.
Definitely. Pogjuice have actually come out really hard, swinging all through this time with just constant aggression and really clean last pushes. Not just on Sunshine, but on Snake Water as well. I think some people will be picking up quite a bit of money from the betting pools after this. A few people have made some small fortune in keys. But yeah, looking for the logs here, definitely looks like a dominant game from Pogjuice. Lots of high damage numbers, lots of high frag numbers, 20 kills on Frydog compared to 7 kills on Kenji. Just absolute dominance from them. Just that constant aggression, those constant frags, winning all those mids. They won every single mid and then won every single round. Just how it happens.
Yeah, there was only, I recall only, I think, one stalemate, which meant that there was only one situation where Pogjuice's medic didn't die and Snazzy was alive as well, which I think was like a problem carrying over from Snake Water, where Snazzy just not being able to stay alive, which, with Uber this side, you just can't hold a point. You just have to straight up give it up and hold last with the engineer. I think a lot of their problems could have been potentially solved or remedied if they kept Snazzy alive and had more stalemates, instead of just getting steamrolled from mid to last.
Definitely. I feel like they weren't so much expecting some of that constant Pogjuice aggression, so they were kind of soft holding points, hoping to just pull their players out, and just were getting caught out by Pogjuice just rolling through the point and just continuing the push, which happened again and again and again on them. So apart from that, we can see that, a lot of damage coming out from the heavy classes on the side of Pogjuice this round on Sunshine, just putting down that constant scout aggression that we were expecting to see, with Lizard Wizard again coming in and a lot of sacks, picking up so much damage, and the frags when needed as well. Quite possibly I might call him the MVP of that map. Did really, really well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lizard played really well across both maps. His bombs were really good, going for the sacks when he needed to, opening up things for his team, for his combo to just do work. I think when you win 5-0 in such a fashion, it's hard to pinpoint one person who carried you. I think just Pogjuice overall were just played better as a team. Their sacks were more coordinated, They were more decisive in their calls to get out or fight. And their focus fire was just a lot better, especially during the last pushes.
Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly like you said, the coordination around the sacks and stuff, not just that two-man sack, which was executed brilliantly, but every sack they did, all these players have such a high level of coordination. All the players were in the right place at the right time, doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. And that just carried them through so much of their fights, so much of their aggression, which could have been, when teams become that aggressive, often they can get just stretched out. Players get left behind in one place or another, but Pogjuice was really able to keep it all together, pick up the frags where they needed to, and keep the aggression going. Really effectively. Right, so in here currently we've got Lizard, Monty, and Frydog for interviews. How's it going, guys? How's the game from your perspectives?
It was a good game.
I played like shit.
Wow. Right, Lizard, so you're saying you played badly when we were just talking about how, you're potentially the MVP for the game.
Wait, what do you... No, fucking... I need to stop swearing, but... I felt I played so bad. I feel like I missed so many easy rockets.
You didn't, Lizard. You were farming. You're too humble, bro.
Yeah,
okay, I can
that
take
was a pretty pound game from what we were watching. You were getting in really well a lot of the right times. Getting some of the very crucial rockets. And my goodness, I'm just gonna say that two-man sack. Did you guys practice that? Or
no, that's the first time we've done that.
that was incredible. That was so clean. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, that felt good. We bombed in, right? Both of us hadn't even shot a rocket yet, and the mid just you. So okay, guess we'll leave.
Well, yeah, the two soldiers right in his face. Pretty hard decision not to.
Yeah, I thought they would have chased us out, but I'm guessing it was just chaos of a random double bomb and all that.
You guys actually followed up on the aggression on that double bomb really well to keep their eyes sort of split up really well. So they just really couldn't help but just kind of take it because you guys just pulled it off just so well or from every level. That's what I was thinking, you know, these guys must have practiced it because they've got players in all the right places, drawing eyes in all the right places. They pick up frags, the force, and they get both soldiers out. It's crazy.
Guess we got pretty lucky on the bomb, but like Ratsuit was calling really well. He jumped in last minute for TG because he had net problems, and Ravu calls well, so we kind of just followed up pretty quick. It was good.
Yeah, definitely good stuff. Frydog, how are you feeling about those crits plays on Snakewater? You know, those were some impressive stuff, you know. Definitely boosted your logs quite a bit.
Exactly. We've been practicing a lot, you know, in the preseason. It's good to finally pull them out.
Yeah, definitely, you know, when the Demo Man can do good crits, you know, the medic's happy, the Demo Man's happy, the whole team's happy because the logs are happy.
Good Twitch clip as well, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Got some good highlights out of that, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Rav's just solo killing the demo on mid. You know, kind of the best medic, you know?
Vote the
Yeah,
best man.
Just decides to, you know, me versus the Demo Man, definitely gonna win this 1v1.
Yeah, like, we kept yelling at him to fight him because, like, he was slow. And he just did it.
Yeah, it paid off in the end, so there you go. Always trust your team when they say to fight. Listen to all medics out there looking to learn. Most likely not. But yeah, anything that sort of went unexpected for you guys, or it is all just business as usual? You practiced for it, you executed it, you know?
I mean,
Oh,
apart from the net problems we're having, like people were dropping, and you know, ozfortress 7 meme as well. Apart from that, it's pretty normal.
All right, well, good stuff. Do you guys want to give any shout outs to anyone, you know?
Just give a shout out to Liquid Alchemy, #1 Pyro and A-Tech. Let's go. What?
All right.
Okay,
Shout out,
okay,
you
cap
your
on
only
J
shout
Jazz.
out for a pyro man, you know. That's
I'm teaching him how to
Sure.
play guitar. Okay, it is what it is.
all right. Sure. What about you, Frydog? Any shout outs?
Shouting out Ratsuit, you know, coming at the last minute when TG couldn't play, clutching up, you know, playing well. Also, shout out my Twitch channel. Check it out, boys. Twitch.tv/Frydog with a 0.
Pretty sure that breaks a couple of advertising rules, but who cares? Monty, any shout outs?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to Hans Gruber and Dwight Schrute. Thanks for tuning in. I know you're watching. And to B10,000. And to the Plan Z lads, if anyone happens to be watching. Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, casters get shout outs. Does Harvey want to give a shout out to anyone?
Yeah, shout out to both teams for the great match. I think you guys played really well. You guys were really coordinated with your focus fire and stuff. Shout out to Salt Free and shout out to CappingTV for having me here.
And a big shout out to all the people making Bangkok Salt Free losing today. Well, thanks for the interviews, guys. You know, good talking to you after the game. You know, seeing that player insight. And Lizard, stop being so hard on yourself, man. You pounded, so don't worry about it.
Well, yeah, I pounded you when we scrimmed you.
Well, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. That was the 2 a.m. sleep, Luggnuts. That's, you know, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Excuse is excuse.
See you guys in the official.
See you then.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. That was Pogjuice Aficionados versus Salt Free Gaming. Pretty big upset from, well, not too big of an upset, but, you know, a couple of people going to be viewing these teams a little bit differently going forward, maybe. Pogjuice showing absolutely incredible aggression, but Salt Free still able to adapt quite well. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys. We also have a game at 8 tomorrow if you're around for that. So yeah, tune in for that one, and I'll see you guys later.